the Congress leader Rahul Gandhi has declared assets worth over 20 crore rupees in his election affidavit. The affidavit filed with the Election Commission of India revealed that Gandhi possesses movable assets valued at 9.24 crore rupees, with an approximate 90% attributed to investments in mutual funds and stocks. The 53-year-old Congress MP from Wayanad owns shares in 25 listed companies ranging from established blue-chip stocks to promising small-cap ventures as well. Now, this is information as of 15th of March 2024. The total value of his stock holdings exceeds at 4.33 crores. He holds the highest number of stocks in the small cap company by the name of Suprajit Engineering, which has a market value of over 16.65 lakh as of 15th of March this year. Meanwhile, Rahul Gandhi has time and again bashed the Indian economy and our stocks. So is he at this point of time a reluctant investor in the Indian stock market and the mutual fund market? And if he has been gaining money by investing into our markets, then does his analysis of the Indian economy and the stock market hold untrue? Let's start this conversation. Joining me on the telecast, let me quickly start by getting in Sharad Kohli. Sharad, a number of times political parties come out and attack the ruling government, talking about how there is no welfare, how there is no development, talking about unemployment, talking about no electricity to the people, no infrastructure. But they also target the economic policies of the government, the economy. They allege that it is in the doldrums. And then comes the affidavit that is shared by Rahul Gandhi when he was filing his nomination from the Wayanad Lok Sabha constituency 2 days ago. And in this affidavit, outpours all the details of the number of stocks, the companies that he is investing in, both in mutual funds as well as the stock market. Now, does this look contradictory to you, of a political leader making certain statements against the economy of our country, floundering, this is what he says, and on the other hand, going about making money by investing in the markets?
Good afternoon, Megha. Good afternoon to my fellow panelists and, of course, the dear NewsX viewers. Well, in one word, if you ask me, this is hypocrisy. A person who speaks about, the corporate world, a person who criticizes the corporate world, a person who says there is crony capitalism, a person who doesn't believe in Prime Minister Modi and the government's policies. Why? Where is the hypocrisy? If I put what you said in a different way, it is the companies he's invested in. I have the list of companies, Megha. They are from small cap, most of them. There are some from mid cap. It's all a mix. And when anybody who does investments in these mixed cap companies, you are banking on the growth of the economy, not the company. Company comes later. The economy has to grow. So my question here is, why will somebody park 9 to 10 crore rupees, which is almost half of your, in inverted commas, declared wealth? I'm putting this in inverted commas. This is declared wealth. Now, I think the viewers, I don't want to, open up by saying why am I emphasizing on the word declared. But declared wealth is half comprised of these stocks. Now, what Mr. Gandhi has to answer is, if he's so hopeless on the economy, if he's so pessimistic about Prime Minister Modi's economic policies, if he is so hopeless on India, if he says there is no democracy in India, if he says Indian economy is in doldrums, if he says there is unemployment, if he says country is going down the drain, then why has he invested in companies? Because these companies he's invested with a long-term vision. If he says there is no vision, where is this investment and why is this investment being made? I think he has to answer to people. I'm glad you're doing this show today, because when this declaration came in public domain, Megha, and when I looked at it, this was the first thought which struck me, that investment on one side with a long-term vision in companies which have a futuristic outlook, on the other side, painting a picture before the electorate that this country has got no future. This is hypocrisy at its best. And
Okay.
I would request Megha, Bharti, I don't come from a political background. I have Vineet sitting here with me, who's got a political background. He represents RSS. I would, through your show, like to convey to the BJP brass that please speak out in people, that the person who's giving you lectures and doing rallies telling that this Indian economy is useless under Prime Minister Modi's leadership, himself has his assets where he's banking on Prime Minister Modi's leadership.
Okay.
I think the BJP brass must very, very vociferously voice this to the electorate. That's what I wanted to say, Megha.
Okay, all right. Let's also quickly, take this case by case. The stock market appreciation of Rahul Gandhi's shares, Rahul Gandhi's mutual funds capital. And here's a look quickly at some of these companies that Rahul Gandhi has invested in and how have they fared over the last years, and what is the money that has been, what is the increase in the capital in Rahul Gandhi's account after having invested in these companies. Now, talking about the big companies, and amongst these big companies are well-known names, the likes of ITC and ICICI Bank, Bajaj Finance, Titan Company. And then there is one small cap venture that Rahul Gandhi has invested in. And amongst the many small cap ventures that he has invested in is the name of Suprajit Engineering. Now, what is interesting about this, the market value of Suprajit Engineering is that it is over 16.65 lakh as of March 15th, and it has increased to over 17 lakh rupees as of April 4th. So you take a look at the exponential increase that this capital of the market value of this small cap company has increased in a span of just about 17 days. This obviously showcases that the small cap ventures in our economy are growing, are burgeoning. It also brings to focus how the startups in our country have been given the impetus that is required for them to become unicorns in the days and weeks and months and years that pass. So, understanding this phenomenon of the economy that is growing at a really fast pace, an economy which is not floundering as the opposition and the Congress and the Rahul Gandhi would like to believe, or at least make people believe in this diatribe that they hold against the BJP. I'm going to get in Vineet Goenka into the show. And Vineet, how does this then make clear things about the compulsion of opposition parties, and here in particular Rahul Gandhi? These are political compulsions because of which the criticism that comes against the BJP, against the ruling dispensation has to be done, and it is nothing but electoral jumlebazi.
Megha ji, Ram Ram to you, Ram Ram to all my co-panelists and all the viewers who are watching us right now. I was going through the manifesto of Congress, and what I could read in the first.
Okay. Quickly coming to Chandni Preeti, I'll come back to you, Vineet. We've lost your connection over there. Chandni, there's a response from you. Now, does this make things clearer in the minds of the public, what Rahul Gandhi actually stands for versus what he portrays?
I mean, Megha, I feel so good to see Mr. Gandhi, who has this vast portfolio worth 8 crores right now, and more happy to see that in the past 10 years, most of his investments have been in Indian companies, and they've grown by almost 1,000%. His portfolio has actually given a great insight that under the able leadership of Narendra Modi ji and his governance, Indian companies are actually flourishing. He invested in Alkyl Amines Chemicals Limited, and its growth rate is 3,625%. Bajaj Finance growth rate is 4,000%. Titan Company grew by 1,100%. Britannia grew by 1,000%. So these are just a couple of companies that I'm telling you. I'm not to forget the Suprajit Investments growth that you just mentioned. I mean, he certainly knew that the economy is doing so well, because back in 2014 he had two mutual funds, Templeton India and HDFC Cash Management something. If we were to go back to the time when Congress had failed to retain the power in 2014 in general elections and lost to the BJP, Rahul Gandhi held less than 1 crore in mutual funds. The net asset value of the mutual funds he held then was around 81.28 lakhs. He had no direct stock market investments either. So, Mr. Gandhi was seemingly conservative in his investment back in 2019 as well. He held rupees 5 crore worth of mutual funds, but again had no direct investments in the stock market. Today, he holds 4.47 crores in stock market, 3.8 crores in mutual funds, 15 lakh plus, in bonds and other instruments. So I would actually like to thank Rahul Gandhi. I mean, he's in opposition, and what better than a certificate from an opposition leader that Narendra Modi has actually made such a significant growth in the Indian economy.
Okay, fair enough. Vineet, quickly coming to you, and I don't disparage or attack Rahul Gandhi. I think it's fantastic that he has invested judiciously, cautiously, smartly, and has been able to make money out of investments that he has done on the tune of crores and crores of rupees. Now, again, does this give a stamp of an affirmation by the Congress? And of course, this is something that this is obviously backfired for the Congress, because they have been attacking the BJP left, right and center and attacking the economy. And here it is, the proof of the pudding is in the eating, and Rahul Gandhi surely is reaping in the benefits.
Megha ji, I got disconnected, so let me just continue on this particular part that in the last 10 years, some fundamental changes in the economy has happened. Let me give you one example, that is bringing in GST. The moment GST was brought in, many taxes were subsumed in GST, and that has reduced the footfall of inspectors in the entrepreneurs or the industry or the businessman's office, and he could focus more on his business. Number two change which has happened, which is fundamental changes, the faceless audit. That removes the entire element of corruption and brings in transparency, which businesses wanted, which the trade wanted, and they're really happy about this. And the number three is migration of papers to the paperless taxation or paperless audit or paperless business by the government. I think that all amounts to ease of doing business, and this amount of ease of doing business in turn increases the opportunity for the businesses. And let me give you one specific now. If you've seen the number of kilometers of road been built, number of kilometers of electrification of the railway or the airports, this has reduced the time taken for goods to go from one point to another point, and that has reduced the logistic cost. Before 2014, the cost to the consumer had two costs. One is the cost of the production plus the cost of logistics. And now this has tremendously come down. The wastage, the leakages because of the shortening of the period of transport has come down. That also has done savings. So I think overall, if you see, the business is happy, and that could be reflected in the balance sheet of Rahul Gandhi. Else, why would have he purchased all these mutual funds, these stocks, and how he would have got this money? So the 2 points which I'm driving is that there is a corporate governance has changed in India. The tax governance has changed in India. The infrastructure and the logistic hubs have changed in India. That resulted in benefiting both to the trade and the common man.
Okay.
And out of this, if Rahul Gandhi has benefited crores of rupees, I have no objection. But he should have just thanked in one line to the current dispensations. That's a small expectation.
Okay, absolutely. Advocate Manasvi Thapar also joins me on the telecast. And Manasvi, this could be taken in two different ways. One is that this is a backhanded compliment coming in from Rahul Gandhi, an endorsement, of course unwillingly, that the economy is flourishing, it is growing by leaps and bounds, and the economic policies of the government are working fantastically for the Indian economy to grow. On the other hand, there could be an argument that could be put by the Congress and Rahul Gandhi that despite the alleged floundering of the economy of our country, there has been a judicious choice that has been made by the Congress leader to pick and choose which are these mutual funds, which are these companies that he has rightly, smartly invested in, that have performed despite all the challenges they have faced in the economy and worked in favor of the stockholders, including Rahul Gandhi.
Or the third one could be that we actually genuinely appreciate our Indian companies, Indian entrepreneurs who have actually done this. So it's not about Rahul Gandhi or Prime Minister Narendra Modi. I believe that country is built by entrepreneurs, though the politicians would make some policies, but the reality is it is the entrepreneurs of any nation which drives the country to the next level. And this is what is missing. In the political hot blood, it has to be either Narendra Modi or a judicial choice of Rahul Gandhi. No, it has to be that the entrepreneurs, the CEOs, the board of directors and lakhs of employees who are working for companies are building the new India and old India also. And India since ages, we were the one-third of the world's largest traders of the world. We were called Sone ki Chidiya. No other world was called Sone ki Chidiya. We were there. Small traders like Kanji Malam were the people who showed way to the Vasco da Gamas of the world. So we were there since ages. So it is not about a particular person actually driving India. It's always about the collective efforts of all the businessmen, the small traders, the big traders, the medium traders, together has contributed to this nation. And this is that reflection. It's not about Rahul Gandhi's choices or Prime Minister Narendra Modi being at the helm of the position of the country. It is the entrepreneurs which are driving, not only in India, but around the world.
Right.
India is right now at a cusp of that movement where we are saying that we have arrived, not in India, but in the world. Look at the second generation, third generation entrepreneurs, be it at Africa, be it at Europe, entire world.
But then,
thinking.
do you think political will also is required for streamlining the economy? Because when you see such a burst of startups that are mushrooming in our country, and I think the maximum of these startups have turned into unicorns. That's the first for any economy in the world, particularly in Asia, that India has the turnover of the transformation that happens of a startup to reaching the unicorn status is much higher in India as compared to any other country in the world. And this has happened in the span of a few years. It's not happened. It did not happen decades ago. So do you think political will is required? Do you think political risk is also required? Do you also think that, as my other panelist Vineet was saying, that when the government provides infrastructure, when the Atal Setu bridge gets built, when there is when the norms are eased for businesses, for FDI or FIIs to come enter into the country and put up their plants, invest in the country, there has to be an alignment, a cohesion between the politicians and the entrepreneurs to let this happen.
There is no doubt about it. So when Prime Minister starts Startup India policy, yes, that's a very great step. But that Startup India policy was previously known as a DST policy. So that name change actually was a good connection for the people. So people understood, not that in the past India did not have anything. India didn't have any policies or all policies were broken up. Digital India was precursor of what was a successor of what Rajiv Gandhi tried to do it in his term, built up internet in India. So it's always so. What Prime Minister Narendra Modi is doing right now, the next Prime Minister would do much better or much bigger, because there is a base. We cannot say that a building has been built, but there was no base since last 75 years. There has been collective bases. So we have in the 90s the finance minister of then, Manmohan Singh ji, did a great work. So that is why we get this. We came to a conclusion. Yes, we needed GST. Congress did their work in their term in GST, but they could not implement it. BJP came up with that implementation. So that's a great thing. So it's a base. The entire.
So do you also think the current dispensation has been able to successfully execute the ideas, the policies that may have been languishing in the last years, in the last decades, when other political parties were ruling the country?
See, one thing for the current dispensation is very good for them is they have a very strong mandate. and they also has a will. The opposition is weak. That's on their good front for them. They have a strong mandate. They can take decisions. They can take policy decisions. They can create laws, and then they work together in a better way. And also Prime Minister Narendra Modi in that persona is a different persona. We have to appreciate that particular fact that he's working. He's seen working. He makes sure that he's seen working. He's also working, and he also implements things. He's a taskmaster with his ministers, with his bureaucrats. So that is there.
Okay.
You cannot take his achievements from him, and you cannot also take the achievements of the Congress.
Okay.
So India as a
fair enough.
is
Fair
a
enough.
great country.
Shad, quickly coming to you. Yeah, quickly coming to you. Now, this affidavit is for public scrutiny, and obviously, I mean, I was going through the companies that he has invested in. He has taken the shares of, and obviously, you don't see a mention of the Adanis and the Ambanis.
Well, obviously, the portfolio does not consist of any of the Reliance or Adani companies. There are some large caps also, as I said. There are some mid caps, and of course, there are small caps as well. Well, on a lighter note, Manasvi, because of sharing screen with me so many times, you tend to become not real friends, but then you tend to have a friendly, look when you look at the person on the screen. I'm glad Manasvi has today spoken, in a very, very balanced way. And I'm not appreciating that he appreciated Prime Minister Modi or he said he's a taskmaster, but a very balanced view. I will not say that this government has done, up to the mark of 100%, but there has been a change over the last 10 years. And, government is an enabler. Government is a policy maker. No business, no corporate, no entrepreneurial skill can flourish until and unless it is backed by a very solid, robust, and a decision-making government. I think we all agree with that. So that has been the outcome. I think on another lighter note, I would say that Rahul Gandhi in one of his speeches should probably thank for appreciation of his investment at Prime Minister Modi. I was like 2-3 crores. Today, my investments are worth 9-10 crores. I think he owes this somewhere or the other indirectly. Obviously,
Okay.
He should openly accept that, look, my investments have grown because of Prime Minister Modi instead of acting under political compulsions and speaking what he speaks. So government's role as an enabler is unquestionable. No corporate in any part of the world, any country can thrive until and unless the government policy support. Vineet went into the micro aspects. There are a lot of micro aspects, ease of doing business. There's GST, there's tax simplification, there is obviating of the Inspector Raj. There are so many things which have happened in the past, and the government is very much focused on allowing the corporate culture to grow instead of criticizing the corporates as capitalism or crony capitalism make up.
Okay. Vineet, then, like I said, the flip side of the argument, as I was mentioning to Manasvi, that this could be an argument that could be put forth by Rahul Gandhi. Despite the economy, quote unquote, not doing well,
Can I answer?
there are companies and entrepreneurs and businesses that have still, despite the fact that there could be a lackluster performance of the overall economy, they still have ended up performing well.
Can I say a sentence, Megha?
Yeah.
I have found a new investment advisor in that case. That is Mr. Rahul Gandhi. Next time when I have to choose the companies, I will go to Mr. Rahul Gandhi, because only he knows that when the country is going down the gutters, which companies to choose. No, that is not the case, Megha. That was on a lighter note. That cannot be the case, because the range of portfolio is clearly indicative of a very favorable investment climate in the country.
Okay, all right. So Vineet, how do you look at the political impact the release of the affidavit will have in the election season?
The political impact is very simple. Whenever now Congress will go and speak against the economy, you have the common man asking them the question. But I would like to bring your attention to page number 17 of the manifesto which they have declared today. Page number 17, point number 1 is Congress will give a legal guarantee to minimum support price announced by the government every year, as recommended by Swaminathan Commission. Now, I wonder, Swaminathan Commission had given its recommendation in 2004, 2005, They had a government for 10 years. They never did anything. Rather, Modi ji came in and he brought in a lot of changes. He implemented the suggestions been given by Swaminathan ji, also gave Bharat to him. Now, today, Congress wants to implement this particular part. Now, they'll have to educate the people. Why didn't they first implement this between 2004 to 2014? Two, what will be the budgetary burden of this on the corporate? That has to be told by Congress, which they have not mentioned anywhere in this particular document.
Okay. Okay. So
and number three, when he talks about, and one more part I like to talk to you is about the fisheries, which he talks about. It does not mention about anything about blue economy. It does not mention about how satellites will be used for fishery, whether they will be using geospatial technologies for fishing. That has not been mentioned here, which is already going on. Now he says fishing communities will be enumerated in the caste census. Now they want to even divide that fishing community. Well, if they want to really do that, they have not mentioned anywhere about the caste system in Islam, Muslims, in the Christians.
So whether
they will divide the caste system. Let me just complete one line.
You know, but I was actually wanting to have a discussion on the affidavit and the portfolios that have been that has been shared, which is now in public domain of Rahul Gandhi. We are drifting apart to the manifesto which has been released earlier in the day. I'll have a debate separately on it and at a later time today. But Chandni, quickly a response from you. Again, the same question. How is the public interpreting, perceiving things after this big declaration that has been made by Rahul Gandhi, the shares and the mutual funds he has invested in? How would the public interpret this?
I mean, there is only one thing for the public to interpret in this, that our economy is doing wonderful. I mean, I completely agree with what Manasvi said earlier, except one point. Tell me something, 10 years back, would any of us sitting over here would have thought that, a state like Uttar Pradesh would have companies like Google, Samsung, Microsoft investing in? Yes, years have been taken to build a base, but the past 10 years have taken the majority of the burden of building this base. And looking at Rahul Gandhi's portfolio, I would like to say that Rahul Gandhi has definitely seen Achhe Din, and as Sharadji said, he must thank PM Modi for such a powerful growth within India and Indian economy and bringing India to the forefront and making it one of the most investable countries in today's time.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Yes, this is how the public should also perceive it.
Okay, all right. I'm out of time. I thank all of you for joining me on the telecast.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.